The alien vampire's fangs touched my skin. Then she froze, trembling, and whispered, beginning. The outpost at Carthon's Edge was supposed to be a research station, nothing more. Nestled into the jagged cliffs of the barren moon, it overlooked a sea of methane clouds that shifted like a living thing. To most of the galaxy, it was a forgotten place, useful only for astronomers and fringe scientists running low-budget experiments. But to me, Lieutenant Eric Solon of the Terran Fleet, it was an exile. I had disobeyed direct orders in the Caridian conflict. Lives were saved, but command didn't like heroes. So they stripped me of honors and sent me here, monitoring data streams from a sensor array older than I was. It was dull work, until the night she arrived. The alarms went off at 0300, a proximity breach. Something had forced its way through the outer perimeter. Something fast and stealthy enough to slip past early detection. I armed myself, grabbed my pulse rifle, and moved through the dim corridors toward the docking bay. What I saw there wasn't a ship, not in the conventional sense. It was a black, organic-looking vessel, sleek, bone-like, covered in etched crimson symbols that pulsed faintly. It hovered above the landing deck, tendrils of energy fading as it came to rest. The hatch dissolved, and she stepped out. At first, I thought she was human. Pale skin, tall-eyed, hair dark as the void. Eyes, however, those gave her away. They glowed faintly in the dark, crimson with flecks of violet, like a dying star. Her gaze locked onto mine instantly. Predatory. I raised my rifle. Identify yourself. She didn't answer with words at first. Instead, she inhaled deeply, as though tasting the very air, and then she smiled. Her teeth gleamed, sharp and unnatural. I've traveled far, she said, her voice low, melodic, dangerous. And at last, I found what I was searching for. Middle. Her name, she told me later, was Celera. She was not human, though her people had once been close enough that legends of them lived on in our oldest myths. They called themselves the Nixery, wanderers, warriors, and predators. To put it bluntly, they were vampires, not the kind from Earth's gothic horror stories, hiding in castles with capes and bats. No, these were evolved, spacefaring hunters who fed not just on blood, but on the bioelectric essence of living beings. Most species feared them, some worshipped them, and she was here for me. I tried to detain her. Security protocol demanded it, but she moved faster than my eyes could track. In a blur, she had me against the wall, her fingers gripping my chin, her crimson eyes burning into mine. You carry something, she whispered. Something no human should carry. I fought against her grip. Let me go. That's when it happened. She leaned closer, her lips brushing against my neck. Her fangs grazed my skin, razor sharp, cold as metal. Every instinct screamed to fight, to push her away, to shoot if I had to. But then she froze. Her body trembled violently. Her eyes widened, her predatory hunger giving way to something I couldn't name. And then she whispered one word, broken and filled with terror. She pulled back, stumbling as though struck. For the first time, she looked afraid. I should have taken the chance to attack, to subdue her. But the fear in her expression wasn't the fear of a predator caught off guard. It was the fear of prey sensing a greater hunter. What did you see? I asked. Her gaze snapped to me, trembling. Inside you, buried deep, the mark of the ascendant. I frowned. I don't know what that means. You shouldn't. She backed away. Her hand pressed to her chest as if steadying herself. No human should carry such a thing unless you are the key. That was the night everything changed. Over the next days, I kept Celera confined to the outpost med bay. She didn't resist much, though she often paced like a caged predator, her eyes darting to the shadows as though something unseen watched us. She explained, piece by piece, what she had meant. Long ago, her people had encountered an ancient race, the Ascendants. Being so powerful, they were thought to have shaped the very laws of physics to bend space, time, and life itself. The Ascendants had vanished eons before humanity rose from its cradle, leaving behind only fragments of technology and myths that haunted civilizations across the galaxy. Her people, the Nixery, had once served them, some willingly, most not. The Ascendants fed on life essence just as the Nixery did, only infinitely more potent, and they had left behind seeds, biological keys, hidden within bloodlines of species scattered across the stars. And according to Celera, I carried one of those seeds. You were never supposed to exist, she said one night, standing at the observation deck beside me. The methane seas below glowed faintly, casting eerie shadows across her pale face. Your blood sings with something ancient. When I touched you, I felt its resonance. I laughed bitterly. I'm just a washed-up officer stuck in exile. Whatever you think you found in me, you're wrong. She turned, her crimson eyes piercing mine. No, that's why I froze. Because if I take your essence, if I drain you, I may awaken what sleeps inside. And if that happens, the ascendants may return. Her words settled over me like a blade at my throat. The idea was absurd, impossible. And yet, the way she looked at me, half terrified, half reverent, gnawed at my mind. But it wasn't just her fear. It was what came after. Because the night after her arrival, the dreams began. I saw visions in my sleep. Vast star systems collapsing into singularities, worlds reshaped like clay, voices whispering in languages I didn't know but somehow understood. And in every vision, a symbol burned into my thoughts, an endless spiral of light and shadow. The same spiral Celera had carved into her ship. Escalation. By the third week, we were no longer captor and prisoner. The truth was, I needed her as much as she needed me. The dreams were worsening. Sometimes I'd wake screaming, blood trickling from my nose, my body trembling with energies I couldn't explain. Celera helped me survive them. She taught me Nixery breathing techniques to steady the flow of bioelectric currents. She shielded me when, during one violent episode, I discharged an arc of raw energy that fried half the medbay systems. You are awakening, she told me grimly afterward. And if we don't find a way to control it, it will consume you. I asked her why she cared. Her expression softened, just barely. Because if you fall, the ascendants may rise. And I will not be their servant again. That was when I realized, beneath her cold, predatory exterior, she carried wounds older than I could imagine. She had fled across the galaxy, not to hunt, but to escape. And maybe, just maybe, she saw in me more than a key. Maybe she saw a chance at freedom. The threat arrives. We weren't alone for long. A month after her arrival, another ship appeared in orbit. Not Nixery, not human. Something else. The sensors barely registered it before it descended, blocking out the stars with its sheer size. A massive construct of black stone and living tissue, its surface writhed with tendrils of energy. Solara's face went pale. No, not them. Not now. I gripped her arm. Who? Her voice was a whisper. The Harbingers. Servants of the Ascendants. They've come for you. The station shook as their boarding craft latched onto the hull. I grabbed my rifle, but Celera pushed my hand down. Guns won't stop them. Only you can. And for the first time, I felt it, the energy inside me, stirring like a sleeping beast. Climax. The Harbingers tore through the outpost defenses like paper. They weren't machines, not entirely. Shifting amalgamations of flesh and metal faceless. Shrieking things that moved with terrifying precision. We fought side by side. Me with rifle and raw bursts of uncontrolled energy. Celera with claws and speed that blurred to the corridors. But they weren't here to kill us. They were here to take me. At the core chamber, cornered, Celera grabbed my face, forcing me to look at her. You must choose, Eric. If you unleash it, there's no going back. I stared at the advancing Harbingers, felt the energy within me coiling, begging to be freed. I don't even know what I am. She leaned close, her lips almost brushing mine, her eyes softened, trembling with something like desperation. You are not them, she whispered. You are more. Prove it. The Harbingers struck, and I let go. Ending. The world dissolved into light and fury. I don't remember all of it, only fragments. My body lifted, my veins ignited with fire. The spiral burned inside me, expanding outward. The Harbingers disintegrated in a storm of energy, their screams echoing into silence. When it ended, I was on my knees, gasping. The outpost was in ruins. Celera knelt beside me, her hand trembling as it touched my cheek. You did it, she whispered. You resisted the Ascendant's hunger. You chose your own path. I looked at her, barely able to breathe. What happens now? Her crimson eyes glistened. Now we run, because the galaxy will feel what you've done, and they will come. I met her gaze. For the first time, she didn't look like a predator. She looked afraid. And yet, there was hope there too. I reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. The alien vampire's fangs had once grazed my skin, promising death. But instead, she had given me a future neither of us could predict. And as the methane cloud shifted below us, I knew this was only the beginning.